Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Steam 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the best weapons and armor to use in Act 2. With Act 2, we're going to get some new seasonal mods, as well as some buffs to weapons and armor. So today I'm going to talk about the ones that I'm looking forward to the most, and the ones that I think that you should keep on your radar for Act 2. But before we get into that, I actually kind of want to take a look at the mods that are coming next season, just in case you guys aren't familiar with them. So let's get into it. So first of all, let's start with Authorized Mods Melee, which reduces the cost of all your melee mods to 1 point. And this is gonna be good for pretty much any melee build, and yeah, it's just pretty straightforward, it's just that. After that, we have Emergency Flare. Emergency reinforcements consume all but 1 armor stack. And in case you guys are not familiar with emergency reinforcements, it's chest piece mod that essentially gives you damage resistance whenever your shields are broken, just giving you a bit more survivability, and I can see you just throwing this on pretty much on any build, but specifically I think it's gonna be good for the melee builds. After that, we have the thick of it. Rapid final blows while surrounded will give you armor charge, again a pretty close range mod, and whenever you boost it, your weapons gain increased handling and your swords increase recharge rate when also surrounded. So overall, it's another really close range mod. It looks like most of these mods are going towards that type of playstyle, a very close range, maybe shotgun heavy playstyle. Next after that, we have Curative Orbs. The first time you break a target shield or the shield of a guardian in their super, you create an orb of power. So this is just giving you another way of creating more orbs of power, and the boosted version of this makes it so whenever you pick up an orb, elemental pickup, or a tangle, you get a small amount of health. So it's essentially going to give you free recuperation, meaning that you can actually use that for something else, for a different mod. I just kind of wonder how good it's going to be, on how well it's going to compare to recuperation. And now the final mod, and the one that I'm actually the most excited about, is Arc Compounding. Arc sources deal increased damage to blind targets. And if you've seen some of the mods that we already have in the artifact, and also some of the popular builds that have been running around, you know that blinding things, it's pretty easy this season. And with the right build that can blind pretty much anything, this is gonna be fantastic. And since we're already kind of talking about it, let's actually start with Arc Compounding and some of the weapons that are going to be really good with this. And first of all, we're just going to get this one out of the way. The Series just got even better, boys. You can easily blind with the mods, meaning that you don't really have to change anything on that build, and you'll just be able to take advantage of that increased damage. Overall, the mod build is essentially just going to be getting with this build without actually having to do anything extra. You just automatically just get that extra damage since you're already blinding a bunch of targets. Another really good one I think is going to be the Grand Overture, and this one's going to be for a different reason. I know this one's not really a weapon that you think of immediately when you think of blinding targets, but you do actually blind targets thanks to the catalyst. Whenever you do your volley, the missiles will blind targets, meaning that those blinded targets after you shoot your volley are going to be taking more damage from the Grand Overture, overall just leading you to do more damage with the Grand Overture. So this is going to be really good. It's essentially just a free damage increase to the Grand Overture for just doing what you were already doing. Charging up your volley, firing it, and then firing the weapon some more. So I think the Grand Overture is going to be really nice, especially in the dungeon boss where the Grand Overture is getting a lot of play already. You will definitely see the difference there. The Thunderlord I think is going to be another good one, especially for activities with a lot of bats. You're just constantly going to be blinding a bunch of targets, and it's going to be really good. Pretty much any arc, heavy, or special weapon is going to be pretty good, and it's going to be able to take advantage of this mod thanks to one specific fragment on arc called Spark of Beacons. While you are amplified, your arc special or heavy weapon final blows create a blinding explosion, and this does not have a cooldown, so you can actually just keep blinding things as long as you keep being amplified, which is, I would say, one of the easiest buffs to get in the game, amplified. So you can constantly just keep things blind as long as you keep killing them with your heavy or your special weapon. Machine guns I think are the ones that really take advantage of this, so things like the Thunderlord are going to be fantastic with the Spark of Beacons, and since you have so much ammo, you can just constantly keep blinding targets. And that's not even the only way that we actually have to blind, because we also have Retinal Burn the artifact. Whenever we hit some rapid precision hits with an arc weapon, it consumes an armor charge and it blinds the target, and if you boost it, it does a blinding explosion, pretty much in the same way as Spark of Beacons. And unlike Spark Beacons, this one also works with pretty much any weapon, so you can even proc this with your primary weapons. So you want to just build fully into the blind, you can actually put on Retinal Burn, plus Spark Beacons, and then just go to town. Just blind everything that you find. You're blind on kill, you're blind on rapid precision hits, I think this season with Act 2 is gonna turn into Season of the Arc, or Season of the Blind, more like it. So I'm very excited for this new mod and the possibilities of arc weapons just dominating the meta. I think it's gonna be pretty cool, pretty nice, since we typically don't tend to see too many arc weapons. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now the other mods are a little more geared towards close range builds, like the melee builds, or even using something like shotguns, since they are anti-barrier this season. I think that maybe Bungie is not seeing too many people use shotguns, and that's why they're giving us some more close range mods, so we can maybe make some more shotgun builds. But the melee builds are gonna go absolutely crazy, with every mod essentially just being 1 point. So any of those melee builds that you know and love are essentially just getting better. Another big thing that's gonna be happening with Act 2, and that may actually change the meta, is that every single roaming super in the game is gonna be getting some buffs. You're gonna be able to use it more often since they're upping the amount of regen that you get on the roaming supers, as well as also being able to do more damage against champions, so they'll be a little more useful in endgame content like GMs. And it is pretty much every roaming super in the game. It is Fist Havoc, Burning Mole, Glacial Quake, Arc Staff, Golden Gun, Spectral Blade, Silk Strike, Storm Trance, Daybreak, Nova Warp, Winter's Wrath, and I did leave out a couple of other ones, but yeah, pretty much every roaming super is just gonna be better once Act 2 actually hits. And this is really exciting because most of the time you do see just kind of like one-off supers, just to kind of get a lot of damage out there. So I'm glad that they're giving the roaming supers a bit of love. One that they didn't mention, but I could understand why they didn't, is the Sunsinger. But that's probably just because the Sunsinger Warlock, it is crazy already in PvE, and it actually does get a lot of play, especially like GMs and stuff. So I could see them not giving these buffs to that. But it's already a fantastic super anyways, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And if it does get these buffs, then they just get even better. And I brought up those super changes because that kind of leads into the other thing that I'm really excited about in Act 2, which is the buff to the Raiden Flux. Now the Raiden Flux is an exotic that's been in the game since the very beginning. It's actually like one of the exotics that I've used the most in PvE in like year 1. Ever since then, it hasn't really seen too much. So Bungie's gonna be buffing it, allowing the damage to stack on it all the way up to 70%, up from 50%. So overall, you're going to be doing more damage with the Raiden Flux, and since we're going to be getting the supers a lot more often thanks to the roaming super changes, both of the changes combined, I think are really going to make the Arc Staff a top tier roaming super for PvE, if not one of the best roaming supers out there with the Sunsinger. And on top of giving you the extra damage, the Raiden Flux actually also increases the duration of your Arc Staff whenever you have some stacks. So as long as you're hitting something, your Arc Staff should last a longer amount of time, so you should be able to put out more damage if you're hitting a boss, or just being the super for longer, just killing ads, and basically being unstoppable with all that damage resistance. It's gonna be really good. I just can't wait to actually try out the Raiden Flux. But I don't think this is gonna be the only exotic that's gonna benefit from the super changes. Pretty much any exotic that has to deal with the super or being in super is gonna get a bit of a buff because of these changes. So things like the Crown of Tempest, the Doomfang Pauldrons. So both of those exotics and any other exotic that deals with super, whether it's generating it or just improving it, is just overall going to be better. I really hope that this is enough to see roaming supers a lot more, since you don't really see them too often. So it will definitely change up the meta and just everyone's playstyle. It's just not something you see too often. So I'm definitely really looking forward to these changes, and I cannot wait to put on my Raiden Flux and jump on the Arc Staff again. But anyways, with that we're gonna end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. I am definitely looking forward to using these things on Tuesday. And also let me know in the comments below, what are you guys looking forward to using? Do you guys have any builds in mind? I definitely have like a blind build already, like essentially built. So I might actually post that on Tuesday, or maybe just like a day before, just so you guys can get ready. But yeah, I'm very excited about the blind and also the super changes, and there will definitely be a build with the Raiden Flux as well. But yeah, just let me know that in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for your support so far. I appreciate all of you guys always stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone, have a good rest of your day. Peace.